Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is video number 2, and as you can tell from the title of the video, this is going to be my plant room tour. So you can probably tell it's already dark out right now. I tried to film this whole intro at least 5 times now, showing my face, and I had a little bit of a crisis, and now we're back to not showing my face. So that's where we're at today. Over New Year's, I wanted to do a long overdue tidy of the plant room. And my plant room is just kind of like this flex space den type of situation in my house. And I do my makeup in there every day, and I grow plants in different little greenhouses. And honestly, it has like the best growing conditions in my house. So it's the most fun place to be as a plant grower. Anyway, I digress. So I wanted to do a little bit of a tidy. I've been neglecting that room for quite some time, and this video kind of motivated me to do the tidy. So one thing I had to do in the room was, in my largest EXO, I have like this like grid background where I hang plants off of, and I have this kind of like woody moss thing hanging at the back. Before this video, I had it hung with these like suction cup hooks, which was working okay, but every now and then I'd have to go in and like push them in to prevent the grid from falling forward. So I had bought kind of stronger hooks that I wanted to swap those out for. So at the beginning of the video, you're gonna see me taking that EXO apart, giving it a good clean, and putting everything back together. So I did film that for you, and then the tour comes right after. And also, one thing I forgot to mention in the video is that you're gonna see that I grow most of my plants in clear plastic pots. Nothing is very decorative. And the reason for that is I just want to be able to see roots, obviously, but growing in clear pots allows me to see how much moisture is in the substrate just at a glance without having to put my finger in it. And when you get to a certain amount of plants, at least for me, I just want to be able to see see visually how much moisture is in the substrate, and that saves me a lot of time. So these are my pots that I use the most often. One of the questions that I get quite often on Instagram is, where do you get your clear pots from? I was like so confused for the longest time, because I was like, you can like literally get them anywhere. But turns out it seems to be a lot harder to get them in the States compared to Canada. So in Canada, at least locally to me here in Vancouver, there are so many garden centers that carry this brand in particular. So I think this is Will Grow brand, and I will correct myself if that's not correct, but they will sell a lot of this with like the slits on the side and the slits on the bottom, and then the larger size pots don't have the slits on the sides. So I use this quite often, and I pretty much just use all of the sizes that they make. And then in the same garden centers, some of them will carry also this one, and I believe this is called a Euro pot. This one doesn't have slits on the sides, and the bottom is more like this. More like holes. This is really nice to use with pon, and I don't think this comes in any size bigger than this, which is 4-inch or maybe 3.5 inch. And then kind of recently I started using this one quite a bit. So my friend Jing, she owns a plant shop called Plant Happens, and she was supplying this last year, and this was like a giant order that takes a really long time to ship over from Asia, I believe. So I think she's currently sold out, but I think she's awaiting a shipment in the next few months, and she's going to be carrying 3 sizes. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 3 sizes, and this I believe should be the medium size. So this one is really awesome because it's kind of like this like frosted plastic, but it's also really sturdy and nice and tall, so that you can have roots growing downwards and it doesn't take up as much real estate. So I've been loving this one as well. But yeah, if anyone knows where you can get these kind of pots in the States kind of easily, please leave a comment, and I will try to pin anything that might be useful to people wanting to get these these pots in America. And if you're wondering about this sweatshirt, it says Boraquianum. and this was designed by my boyfriend last year. I did a run of these sweatshirts with Charmaine, so she did a t-shirt. I'm sure you've seen it on her channel. It's the Tales of the Thrips t-shirt. So that was we did a little giveaway with these, and then we sold a few, but we don't have them available anymore. But yeah, this was a sweatshirt made by my boyfriend. So yeah, before we get on to the video, I just want to say a really big thank you to everyone for the response on my first video. All the lovely comments and the messages, it means so much to me, and it was like very unexpected, but also at the same time really encouraging, because like as much work as it takes to film a video, when people watch it, it is just such a nice feeling. And at the same time as well, all the things that I'm having to learn making videos has been super fun. Like very unexpected part of this was like how much fun I'm having learning like camera things and editing things and lighting things. Like I think this was just like a really nice creative outlet for me so far. So yeah, really big thank you to you guys. I appreciate you so much. And lastly, regarding my upload schedule, so I'm gonna try to get up videos out every Sunday. So this will give me the opportunity to film on the weekends and then kind of chip away at editing throughout the week, because I work full time. My work can be kind of hectic. So I think also having that Saturday as like a buffer day for any last minute editing. Like for example, right now I'm filming this on Saturday. I'm gonna upload tomorrow. So this is a schedule I think I can stick to when I'm really busy at work even. Like I think this is gonna work for me for the time being. So I'm gonna try to get a video out every Sunday for you guys. And if you have any like suggestions for videos, I would love to hear all your suggestions. I have this running list of videos I want to be making. Hopefully they're not always gonna be over an hour long. Honestly, I thought this video was gonna be like 10-15 minutes, and then I got the footage uploaded and it was like over an hour. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say for the intro. So on to the video. So I currently have everything emptied out of this EXO right now, and all my plants are here on the floor. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to replace these suction cup hooks here, which are okay, but they're not as strong as I want them to be. And there was one instance when it kind of came falling forward. So I'm gonna replace it with this, which I bought kind of at this dollar store type place. And this should be a lot stronger. It's gonna be a lot more conspicuous, but this is what it looks like. So you have it on the up position, and then when you push it down, it makes a stronger suction. So I'm gonna get this installed and I'll show you the final result. So now it's done. I ran into a little problem where it's actually a little bit too low on the glass. So when I rested it on the hook from here, this whole thing was too tall, so it was like hitting the bottom, or like past the bottom. So I actually had to rest it this way so it could be a little bit higher up, but I think that's pretty sturdy. So now I can give this a good clean and then put the plants back. This is about as clean as it needs to be. Every time I spray it, it's gonna get dirty again. Anyways, so just a really quick thing about how I made this backdrop. If you're even curious, it's not even very pretty, but I have 4 wall grids here that are zip tied together. And then I have two pieces of driftwood. Not driftwood, sorry, these are corkwood, so they're really light. And then one really curvy piece of, I think it's called spiderwood, which is commonly used in terrariums. And by terrariums, I mean aquariums. Then I have sheet moss tied and kind of stuck around, and it used to be a lot prettier when it was green, but I don't keep up with the watering of it, so it turns yellow eventually. But I don't know, I don't really mind that look anyway, so I'm gonna start putting things back. Okay, so here is my plant room. Just a really quick forewarning, if the color balance goes kind of weird throughout this video, I will try to fix it in post, but I do have a lot of different color lights in here, so that might make the white balance a little bit crazy. But yeah, I have on this side of the room, I have 3 exos, a prop box, and another small little propagation exo. So I'm gonna go through them one by one. And then on the right here, I have a grow tent, and I'm gonna do that one last. So starting first with this big exos, one that you would have saw me cleaning yesterday. This one is let me see if I can remember the dimensions. This is 24 wide, 36 tall, and 18 inches deep. I really like this size, but if I want to upgrade it in the future, I probably would prefer the 3 feet by 3 feet one, the big square. I just think that I run out of horizontal space quite easily here. So anyway, I'm gonna go through these really quickly. If you have any questions on any of the plants in particular, just shoot me a comment and I will get back to you. So here I have a baby Anthurium moraquianum dark form, and it's a little chunk propagation I got from Erin that has like 3 or 4 growth points. So it's like super bushy and really just easy growing. This one is a philodendron rosiocataphyllum, which is also commonly called Philodendron montanum. Down here is a Anthurium forgetii, and you're gonna see quite a few forgetii as I go through this tour because I seem to hoard them. This is a Anthurium King of Spades little baby offset that I separated from my mother plant, which you would have seen in my favorites video. That one is right there. Focus. Yeah. Down here is a very bleached Philodendron majestic, and it used to live in my Millsbow, but I brought it in here so it can be quite a lot farther away from the lights, and hopefully the next leaf will stay green. This is an Anthurium. It was sold to me as Warquianum crossed with Waterburyanum, but my friend on Instagram told me that he has his suspicions as to whether or not it's the true hybrid. So he thinks it's actually what they're selling right now as Warquianum esmeraldas, but I'm kind of just assuming it's some sort of no ID at the moment. My green Queen Anthurium, I showed that in my favorites. This is a dark Pappy hybrid. It was a gift from a supplier, and I really like his Pappy hybrids. They're really cute, and they're also really easy to grow. This one has been rooting okay, and it's still in the red solo cup that I got from Jing. This is a variegated unknown Homolomina something that I bought as a reverted plant. So that was the original plant, and then since being imported, it's just been growing green leaves. But the latest leaf has like a little splotch of variegation. You can see right there, but it's on the back side of the leaf. But yeah. My Anthurium pallidiflorum also was shown in my favorites. This is a Anthurium regale. I imported this maybe about a year ago, and this is the import leaf, and it's just now putting out a leaf. I would zoom you in, but I don't think you're gonna be able to see. Is that everything in this exo? I think it is. All right, so closing you up. Next to it, I have just a few plants living in regular humidity. So over here I have a Monstera albo that was a gift from Erin. It's been growing low variegation leaves, but the stem is still quite variegated, so I'm not too worried about that. And it's in a Pon Orchiata perlite mix with a leca drainage layer here at the bottom. So I really like this mix because I'm able to shove moss poles all the way to the bottom here, and that wicks all the moisture upwards, so I don't have to keep watering the moss poles. So you can see that, like, when I'm squeezing it, it's not dry. The only thing with this kind of setup is that you have to water the substrate a lot more often, because obviously the moss pole is taking away a lot of the water, but it's a lot easier to water a pot than it is to wet a moss pole, so I don't mind that at all. And over here is a Philodendron glorious. Imported close to a year ago, and it's only starting to size up now. It seems to like it out here a lot more than it did in my exo. And then down here, a Alocasia Baginda green dragon scale thingy. My baby Dean McDowell that I showed my favorites. This is an Anthurium clarinervium. I actually find clarinervium super hard to grow. The older leaves all kind of died off due to this kind of, maybe it was something fungal. I had it in much higher humidity, and this leaf formed right in this spot that it's sitting in right now, so it's a lot happier now. And it's in pure pon. And then over here is a low exo. So this is where I used to plant a lot of my propagations and just let them grow, so it can be a lot warmer, the light is a lot closer to it, but I haven't been propagating very much lately, so you're gonna see that a lot of these are pretty much just full plants and full neglected plants. So starting from the back, at the very back there, I have a couple of pots of Philodendron micans that got quite bleached. Next to it, what is this? Also micans. This is a Philodendron melanochrysum, and I got a couple of Anthurium velenorum babies. These were imported as babies, and I acclimated them, but yeah, they were neglected so much that they're not looking too cute right now. This is a Varicosum mini, I think. Philodendron Pink Princess, not showing too much pink. I have a couple of those. There's one more here. A Philodendron Plumanii baby chunk propagation that was quite bleached, and I move it to lower light, and the newer leaf is a lot better. In front of it, this is a Philodendron El Choco, and it has a lot of these like kind of splotches that people are calling viral, so I'm not selling that anytime soon, just in case. A Monstera Esqueleto node propagation. It's about to unfurl, and we've got some nice fenestrations. And then over here I have a Hoya Macrophylla Splash. that I cut into a few pieces, and they're all now full plants. So yeah, I don't really know what to do with this, because I also have a really big plant, like the main mother plant that I'm keeping, and I've already given some away. So yeah. This is a gift from my friend Nessa. This is a Hoya parasitica heart leaf splash. And if you've ever seen these in person before, this leaf is super crazy. Like, it feels so smooth, and it's so flat. It reminds me a lot of those tempered chocolate discs that you get on cakes. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like, it doesn't feel like a natural leaf. Really cute. And I think that's everything for this EXO. Okay, I'm gonna swing you around and go into my prop box now. Okay, so I've taken the lid off the dome here. This whole side of the EXO, sorry, this whole side of the room is powered by this outlet tower here, and I've got this tower on timer, so they all the lights turn off and on at the same time. And in here, I grow a lot of props, and I've started to acclimate Hoyas in here as well, because it can be super high humidity and it's so warm under the lights that they seem to acclimate pretty well. But I'm already seeing a dead leaf that might be a problem. Okay, so starting here in the front, this is a Hoya obovata variegated. This is a Hoya larissa, and I thought it would be kind of a finicky plant to acclimate, but this is the newest leaf that just grew out, and it's still growing. But it's got these like really round, splashy, veiny kind of leaves, and yeah, super cute. This is, I'm not really sure what that is. Might be dead. This is a Hoya hypolasia. I'm just gonna pick it up here. Oh no! We fell off. No. This reminds me a lot of an anthurium leaf, kind of like a pallidiflorum leaf. They're really cute, and they're kind of fuzzy too. What happened to you? Oh, this is mushy. Okay, moving on. This is another Hoya larissa cutting off of this plant here. I think this is cold damage, because this one came in, I think it was November, and it was quite, like, it was super cold that weekend that it came in, so yeah. This one is a Hoya CV Joy, and it was purchased as CV Joy Splash, but it's super low splash, but I still really like it. It's got these like really round, super fat leaves, and it's got a black margin that I think comes from light stress, possibly. So that's really cute. And then I have, this is what caught my eye earlier. This is another cutting of that CV Joy, but what the heck is going on here? Not too sure. I don't really know a lot about mine. Let's just take him away. This is a gift from my friend Jing. This is one that I've been wanting for a while. This is Hoya SP Loy Province. Yeah. Anyone that I missed here? I don't think so. Okay, so back here is a Soderoy Af little baby that I brought back from the dead. A possibly dead Hoya valmeyoriana vine. This is, what is this? Alocasia maharani, little corm baby. And this is a black velvet baby. And Philodendron sylvastatum. This is a failed Anthurium vitarifolium seed. These two are seed-grown anthuriums, so I got these from a Canadian grower, Northern Plant Room. So this is a hybrid between her Anthurium Ace of Spades and a Magnificum. They're the same. This is a Hoya thomsonii, the one with the pink flowers. Another gift or possibly a purchase from Jing. I don't really know how to plant this now that it's rooted all along the vine, so I'm kind of just keeping it there. A really sad begonia Sinbad cutting that I didn't really want to throw out. I trimmed my plant down, and then I just kind of stuck the little cuttings here, and this one made it, but it's looking pretty sad. I think that's everything for this grow box. And then I'm gonna show you just a little bin that I have here. Typically, I would have a bin kind of resting right here. And this is where a lot of my imports would go. So when I have a import come in and the plants are on the bigger side, I need, like the lid won't fit onto the bin, so I just have two bins stacked on top of each other. And these aren't necessarily like fresh imports per se, but I haven't moved them yet. So this over here is an import that I picked up at the Enclosure pop-up. Maybe it was like in November. This is a philodendron Genevivianum, yes, and it has really cool fuzzy petioles. Let me focus on that. And this was the top cutting that I split this plant with Jing and Charmaine. Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like my microphone is way too close to my mouth, so just 1 second. Okay, false alarm. Maybe it was okay. Yeah, so Genevivianum, it's rooting in my pond mixture, so you'll see me use this a lot, which is pond, perlite, and orchiata. And I think, yep, we got some roots growing in here. So it's not a new import, but I don't really have space for it in my other enclosures. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna keep it in this bin until it grows a new leaf, and then we'll decide where we want to put them. This is an Anthurium regale that was looking really droopy. It used to live in this exo here, and I don't know, has it gotten any better? It's still really soft. So I'm concerned that maybe the roots have died and I might need to take it out. But in the meantime, I'm just keeping it in here so it could be a higher humidity. This is an Anthurium King of Spades. So this is the bottom cutting of my plant that I cut maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. So I'll just grow this out and probably sell it. And that's all that's in this bin right now. Yeah, but this is a really easy setup for me when I get an import, and I can just like stuff it full of plants. All the substrate, like if it's in moss or whatever, all that keeps the humidity super high, and I'll just open this up once a day, and it's been working really well for me. Okay, so I'm gonna move you up onto the next exo. So these are two small, tall exos is what they call it. So it would be 18 wide, 18 deep, and 24 inches tall. And I have them stacked on top of each other, but they do not recommend this, and this is probably really dangerous. So I don't super advocate doing this. So what I have here is a really thick piece of glass that was custom cut for this exo, and it was used to be Erin's, and she gave it to me because she got rid of her exo of this size. So I'm gonna start down here. So this exo used to have like a fungal problem, and I've treated it with Phyton 35, but you're gonna see some remnants of that fungal issue but I feel like it's eradicated now. So starting from the back here, this is Dischidia something, variegated string of nickels, I think. This was an import along with my Hoyas. That's been really cute as like just a little bit of dimension. This is a philodendron Lita Red. It's also being sold as Pinatylobum af, which I believe is a defunct name. I think Lita Red is a cultivar out of Ecuador, and it's been kind of a difficult plant for me, but now that I feel like I have it in a good place, it's been growing really well. So fingers crossed it stays this way. Another Forgetii. This is a cool one because it has really slender, long leaves. This is one of the fungus leaves, but they all kind of grow this shape. So I am pretty excited about this one because once this grows large and it keeps this kind of shape, that's going to be really cool. In front of it is a Anthurium waterberryanum, one of more difficult anthuriums in my collection for sure. Like the leaf, this one is forming right now, but eventually they all kind of look like this. I moved it from moss into soil fairly recently, and since then it's been a little bit better, a little less crispy, so fingers crossed for that. My alocasia frydek, my beautiful baby, super easy going, loves it in here. Again, in my pond mixture, and the new leaf is coming soon. Okay, this is my Aglaonema pictum tricolor. It's just finished flowering, and a new leaf is coming out. I've moved it into soil just before it started flowering, so hopefully the leaves start to size up soon, because I hear that they do pretty well in soil. What's behind here? Oh, and another Anthurium forgetii. This one had a really cool, like almost golden emergent leaf, but nothing too crazy about that one. A lot of fungal damage on this one. And then back here is a really sad Dune Jewel. This was a seed-grown plant from Erin. I think I underwatered it at one point, so I moved it to soil so it retained moisture a little bit better, and hopefully the next one will be okay. I think it's about to put out a new leaf because it has a really like fuzzy shoot coming out at the bottom. Okay, back here is a Rhaphidophora, not Decursiva, Pertusa, yes. So this was like just grown from a tiny wet stick. This is, why am I so out of breath? This is a Philodendron peltatum, or what they're calling peltatum. Really sad Monstera dubia back there. Look at this. Yeah, let's not think about him. This is a Anthurium Engamarcanum app, so basically a no ID Anthurium. Really, really cute. Starting to size up now that it's in soil. It was in moss for a really long time and not really doing anything. And up front, this is Anthurium, I don't know how to say it, Debile, used to be called Debilis. I hear that these are really hard to grow. I got this from Jing maybe a couple of months ago, and she was having trouble with this. This is the leaf that grew in her care. It was kind of deformed. This one, I don't know if it's still expanding or not. It was a really slow grower for me, and it's still quite small. It seems to be fairly happy in this exo. I've heard a lot of things about what they want, and I've heard that they want cool temperatures. I've also heard that they've been found growing near varicosum, so mid to high 20s for temperature, so who knows. All I'm doing is keeping the humidity high, and the humidity in this exo stays around 90%, and temperature ranges between 20 and 30 degrees. And then here I have another gift from my friend Nessa. This is a Ficus villosa with the really super fuzzy leaves. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm waiting for like a lot more root growth, and then I think I'll transfer it to maybe, I don't know, I'll figure out the substrate, but I want to get it shingling up like a plank or a flat moss pole or something, because that'll look really cute. And I'm going to split this with Charmaine because it's for the both of us. And is that everything for this one? I think so. Okay, we're gonna move up to the next one. Okay, here we are at the top exo. This grid at the back, I haven't filled it with plants yet. I just don't really have enough plants that are light enough to hang here. So currently I only have this little Philodendron gigas prop. This is a Monstera spruciana, super sad little runner propagation, and then below is my Spruciana runner farm, which just like I just keep it here for fun. It's not even fun. I keep it here for no reason other than I don't feel like throwing it out, but yeah, it's just a runner factory. This is a Philotanium lindenii. What were they calling it before? Not caladium. Oh, they were also calling it Caladium lindenii. What was the other genus? Anyway, Philotanium is the newly classified genus for this plant. Down here is a Begonia Gray Feather. I got this from Southlands at the Eco General pop-up. Really, really cute. This is the Alocasia Scalprum that I showed in my favorites. Looking real nice. This is a Philodendron Serpens. One of my, I almost put this in my favorites because I do really like it a lot. Yeah, this is the one that I kind of saved with CalMag. So all the deformed leaves have dropped off and yeah, it's just looking really nice now. Back here, a Hoya Pachiclata. Really, really cool Hoya. So if you haven't seen or felt one in person, like the leaves are just unreal. Can you see how thick it is? And it's, I've never felt a leaf this thick. And the finish of it is very kind of like a dusted surface. You know how like mochis, they have that, what kind of, it's not icing sugar, but something they coat the outside with, and this is what it feels like. It feels like very dusty. It might be a little bit kind of fuzzy, but to me it feels dusty, and it's very matte and just yum. Really, really like this Hoya, although it hasn't grown a leaf for me since I got it. Down here is a Philodendron gloriosum, white veins, little baby chonk propagation, working on a new leaf here. And then below it is a Philodendron glorious. So this is one of the very first gifts that Charmaine ever gave me. And it started to go juvenile on me, so I chopped it up and sold a lot of cuttings, and then I'm keeping the top here. And it seems to be coming back now. There's a new leaf there. Here I have two Philodendron Burley Marks Fantasies. So this is the top cutting. I chopped it and then put it onto this pole, which is manzanita wood with sphagnum moss kind of clumped here. And then I had live sphagnum moss tied on as well. And I have to keep this really, really wet, otherwise the moss will die. Yeah, that was just kind of like an experiment for me to grow a pretty pole. And then this is the mother plant that I cut it from that I'll probably sell in the near future. And I think that's it for this exo. And then really quick, I had this Philodendron gloriosum here. This is, I think, my original gloriosum. This was purchased locally, and I think I want to chop this one up too and probably sell some cuttings. I want to give one away as well. This, the leaves are so beautiful, but I find the petioles are way too tall, so I want to get it really small and regrow it in my tent so that the petioles can be a little bit shorter and it'll be a little bit more bushy and less unruly. This is, you know how sometimes you just can't let go of a leaf and you just keep it around until it looks even sadder than it did a week ago, and then you get even sadder. So that's the story behind that leaf. And I'm not actually running a humidifier in this room right now because this year I've moved all my plants into enclosures, so I don't actually need to run a humidifier anymore. So that humidifier is basically just a little stand for my gloriosum. All right, I'm gonna go on to the tent now. Ta-da! So this is a smallish tent that I got June-ish of this year, because I needed to go away on a work trip for 3 weeks, so I didn't want my boyfriend to have to worry too much about watering the plants in this room. But we had the most epic heat wave while I was gone, so we ended up having to water this tent every single day because everything was super dry. So as I go through the plants, you're gonna see some plants with some residual heat wave damage. I'll point them out to you. But this tent is 4 feet wide, 5 feet tall, and 2 feet deep. And that's about as big as I could fit in this room without it taking over the whole space. But I really, really want a bigger walk-in tent, but this is what I got for now. And then in here I have a wire shelf. So this was a shelf that I used to keep all my plants in here. And then since then I moved everything into exos, and then I stuck the shelf in the tent. It's not my favorite dimensions, but I didn't want to buy a new tent. But I do have a lot of dead space here where that light isn't optimal for plants. So I do want to figure out a better setup in here and reorganize a little bit. But anyway, so I'm going to start here in the corner. This is my Anthurium luxurians. I showed that in my favorites. Next to it is a Philodendron Patriciae. So this is a cutting that I got from Charmaine. So she cut this leaf off her plant that she imported. And it's grown some cuties for me. So that's the newest leaf, and it's about to push out a new one here. And it's already showing the ripples too. Actually, I find Patriciae a lot easier than people made it out to be. Like the node that this was cut off of was like this big, and it rooted no problem and just started growing right away. So yeah, it's not so much of a diva. Back here is an Anthurium pendens. It's too far for me to touch, but I find this Anthurium kind of hard to grow. And I do think it's like a feed thing. I've also read that pendens is a really close relative of Anthurium windlingeri, which is quite a heavy feeder. So I think that's the reason why the leaves are super wonky. But since I increased the CalMag for it, it seems to be coming back slowly. It is a really fast grower, so hopefully by the spring or summer, it'll be a lot nicer. Over here is an Anthurium waraquinum, a little green form one. This was another gift from a supplier. I'm gonna be gifting this to Charmaine soon, but I just haven't seen her for a really long time. So yeah, this one suffered quite a bit during the heat wave too. So most of the import leaves are slowly dropping off, but the newer leaves are starting to look queeny. And down here is the Philodendron Florida Beauty. I struggle with this plant too. It used to be super beautiful, and like it's growing a lot of like really dinky little stunted leaves. I'm not really sure why. It was super root bound, so I've repotted it. I've chopped it a little bit, and I'll increase the feed on it to see if hopefully it'll start to look a little bit more healthy. Where are we now? My Philodendron gloriosum. I talked about this a lot, my favorites. This is where it lives. It's pushing out a new leaf now. This is a Philodendron soderoy. So another gift from a supplier, the same supplier. I'm gonna just go down here to the light. Yeah, it was packaged super well, so it came looking just like this. And we are rooting quite nicely here in perlite. Ooh, more roots. I didn't even notice this the other day. Yeah, super, super cute. I'm excited to grow this big. I am so out of breath. I actually need a cup of water right now. Okay, back here is a Philodendron heterocraspidon. Or is it called heterocraspidon? I forget. So I'm just gonna pull you out. So this plant has been way more difficult than Patriciae for me. I think I've lost 3 cuttings of this. So if anyone has successfully cut this plant and grown cuttings, please tell me your secrets, because I don't want to lose any more cuttings. So that's the top cutting that I'm keeping for myself. And then I've given a cutting to Charmaine and a cutting to Erin, but Erin's cutting might not make it. It looks way darker on camera than it does in person. This is the Philodendron rubro-cinctum platinum that I showed my favorites, and the SP Columbia that I showed my favorites. I won't talk too much about those. This is a larger Philodendron melanochrysum. This one I got from Jing way longer than that. I got it a really long time ago, and this is the only leaf that has successfully grown for me. And then since this leaf, it's just like, do you see all the leaves that it's aborted? And it's just biting up this pole. It makes me really sad to look at this. I don't know why it just hates me so much, and I find Milanos kind of difficult to grow. Sometimes you look out with an easy one, but I seem to be only getting the difficult ones. So my intention with this was to give it a soil pole. So this is like an aeroid mix kind of thing inside the pole. So my intention was to grow it up the pole, because I find Milano roots kind of dinky and kind of unsatisfactory. So I wanted to root it onto the pole, which it has done. And my idea was to like feed it all along the pole and just grow it massive, but that's clearly not happening. So anyway, let's not talk about her anymore. Here's a Monstera. It was a large form, yellow variegated. So this was like a really hard plant for me to grow. First of all, it reverted. Second of all, like, what is this like deformed little thing? It is well rooted in here. I don't know if you can see all the roots. It's in pure pond. No, it's pond mixed with perlite. And I am feeding it, but I don't know why it's growing like this. So this is like a headache plant for me. Absolutely a headache plant. This is another Gloriosum. Let me just move the one in front. This one is another one I photograph quite often for the gram. My head is tilted back so far right now. It is really cute. Super root bound in this pot, so it's in my pond mix once again. And you can maybe see how solid this is. And that's not going to be fun to get out, but for now we can enjoy how cute it looks. Oh, I'll put you down. Another Gloriosum Propagation. This was one of the import leaves. The other import leaf has fallen off, but this one was kind of cool because you can see that the petioles were like coming out of the same node, so twin petioles. That was really cool. This leaf, I think I snapped off right before I started filming this video, so that's sad, but a new one is coming. I'm not really quite sure what this means though, so if anyone knows, let me know. Okay, moving along the bottom. Uh-oh. Oh yeah. This one is even more root bound than the previous one. Like, I'm squeezing it right now and it's just got no give whatsoever. Tough times. That might be why it's not so happy. All right. These two are a sad story. So I used to have a really pretty dark Pappy hybrid. And then it was dropping a couple leaves for the past few months, and I thought it was just kind of, you know, moving nutrients around and powering up to give me a giant leaf, but really it had stem rot, so I've had to chop it up. This is the very bottom node, which I don't think has any auxiliary bud on it, so I don't think that's going to do anything. But the top seems to have, I don't know if it'll focus, but where that little red dot is next to my thumbnail, I think that's an activated auxiliary bud, because that wasn't like that when I cut it. So fingers crossed it comes back. This is a Thai constellation cutting that I'm trying to grow. Thais, sometimes I can't find the auxiliary bud on it. It's just like, it's just so smooth and there's no visible bump anywhere. So this was kind of like a shot in the dark cutting, and I don't see any active bud on it so far, so it might never grow a leaf. So that's that. This is the bottom cutting of that other variegated Monstera that I showed earlier, which is totally reverted, and also grows really slow, and this one's in soil. The very bottom leaves of this plant had a little bit of variegation on the back of the leaf, but since then it's gone totally green, so yeah, hate that guy. Some Scindapsus, like leaf props, runner props. I just ignore those. Okay, I'm gonna get the lid off this prop box and bring you back. Okay, nothing too exciting in here. A lot of it is just still leafless. So this is a Dean McDowell chunk. This is a Plumanii that's getting really bleached. What is this? Oh, this was a plant that was sold to my friend Jing as an ace of spades. It's not an ace of spades, but it's like kind of similar. And I realized that the roots were totally dead, and it kept dropping the leaves. So I'm rerooting it in this moss here. The stem is still really healthy, so I'm not too worried about that one. This is a Philodendron Heterocraspedon wet stick, which is not active yet, as far as I can see. I've lost 2 of these already, by the way, so I'm not hopeful for that one. This is a, what is that? Oh, this is a Hoffmanii X. So one of my plants, same story as this one, lost all the roots and it just hated the exo. And I'm just gonna see if it's still alive even. Seems okay. Oh, you have an activated auxiliary bud. Right there, you can see right there. Awesome. This is a Philodendron verrucosum, I think maybe Cobra. Forgetii, just a stem cutting that I took, and it's grown a leaf. This is, I think this is a Philodendron roseocataphyllum, but I'm not 100% sure, but I didn't label that one. This is really sad. So I had a beautiful Homalamina redback or red Sumatra, which I missed one too many waterings and it died back. So I'm hoping it'll come back, but I'm not too confident. It feels really light, like there's no juice left in it. I really love that plant, so I want to try to get another one this year if I can. El Choco stump, doing nothing. Florida Beauty, no, doing nothing. This is the Warrock Waterburyana hybrid that I showed earlier, or the so-called hybrid. Also not doing anything. This is a Regale off of Aaron's plant. So this one is a really cool clone. It has very like simple venation and the lobes are super far apart. The sinus is really wide. So I'm excited for that one to grow. But so far it's just been growing like roots. No leaf so far. I'm going to show you a picture of Aaron's plant. All right, moving up to the next level. Back here is a Philodendron gloriosum. I'm babysitting this plant for Erin because her old house was a little bit too cold and this plant was just getting really pale and hating it. But since then, she's gotten a tent and she's moved. So I think that I can give it back to her now. It's only given me one leaf since I got it and it's kind of small, but it is really nice and dark. Isn't that cute? So yeah, I'll just have to find a way to get it back to her. Down here is a Philodendron luxurians. This is the bottom cutting of the plant that I imported and the top cutting just died. And apparently they don't like to be cut. This is a Philodendron plumanii, or what was sold to me as plumanii. I'm not super sure what this plant is. You can see that there's no silver on this plant, like plumanii. And then we do have the wings on the petioles, but they're not as distinct as plumaniis tend to be. Yeah, and then the veins are just a lot more numerous. So yeah, I have to do my research, but I don't really know what this plant is. Just really, really cute. And it seems to really like this spot here. Anthurium crystallinum black. That one's putting out a new leaf, which is exciting. Let me get back here. This is a, it was sold to me as a Anthurium papillolaminum crossed with Dressleri. But since then I've seen a lot of these on Facebook that are being ID'd as just straight up papillolaminum. So I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'm going to throw up a picture of Jing's plant, which was from a different supplier, but I believe it is the same plant and it's super cool. So I'm really excited to see this grow. This one died back to a stump during the heat waves. That's why it's so small. And then back here is some sort of tenue, Philodendron tenue type thing. It's not 100% the same as other tenues I've seen. It tends to have a red stem when it's light stressed. So yeah, but not super exciting anyway. What's this? Oh, this is, oh, bring you down. This is Charmaine's plants that I'm babysitting. So this is her Crystal Mag crossed with Luxurians. And I'm pretty sure it was like this when I got it, but one of the leaves died in the petiole, but it's pushing out a new one right now. So I don't know if you can see through that sheath there. You can see the shadow of a leaf coming out. So that's exciting. And then of course her Ace of Spades. Let me get you a good light. Yeah, super cute, and it's really close to pushing out a new leaf. You can see on that petiole there, that leaf is so close to coming out. So yeah, I just need to get it back to her, but right now just we're isolating. She's sick, and I'm not isolating, but she's sick, and we're just trying not to be super social if possible. So I'm okay holding on to it, obviously. So okay, moving on. This is an Anthurium peltigerum. Impossible plant for me to grow. Not doing anything whatsoever. Philodendron micans, very neglected pot. This is an Anthurium. Okay, so I don't know how long ago this was, but Equiflora was selling this plant as Ace of Spades Forgetii. But after he started selling them, he changed the name to SP Velvet. So I don't know what that means. So yeah, it's just some sort of Forgetii hybrid. And I will say it is quite a bit darker than Forgetiis, well, other Forgetiis that I have. And I got a new leaf coming in here. Still a hint of a sinus on that one. And then next to it is another Forgetii. This is the mother plant of my seedlings. And it's just like this bush. It has 2 growth points, and ever since producing berries, it's producing a lot of these small, tiny leaves, which is, you know, not super surprising because it puts so much energy into the berries. So let me see if I can show you a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, I still really like this plant, and the new leaf is right there. This is also sold to me as Philodendron plumanii. And comparing the leaves of this one versus this one, they are quite different. This one definitely has like a more leathery texture. This one feels more thin and almost papery, and the petioles are a lot more heavily winged. You can see. There we go. Yeah, but also a really cute one. This one died back to a stump too in the heat wave. And then next to it is a Melanochrysum prop. This is a Philodendron plumanii. Well, it was also sold to me as plumanii, but it's vining upwards. Like, I don't really know what that means, but yeah, I kind of ignore that one for the most part. Down here is a Philodendron tenue. So this is, that's not a tenue. Grabbed the wrong plant. This is the tenue. So this was, I traded a cutting of the other one I just showed you with Charmaine. So this one was her, like, you know, real tenue, I think. Yeah, it does look different. It's very similar, but it does look a little bit different. Another not plumanii, another Melanochrysum. Is that everything on this shelf? Thank God. Okay, last shelf where it's light. Okay, I'm gonna start in this back corner. This is a Hoya villosa. Oh dear. I love the leaves on this one. It has really, really cool veins, really nice thick texture, and like the fuzzy back is just so adorable. One of my favorite Hoyas for sure. Another Hoya obovata variegated. So that's my main plant. The other one I showed is probably one that I'll sell in the future. This is on the left here. It's kind of hiding. This is Hoya sulawesiana. So this is another import that I got quite recently. It hasn't grown a leaf for me yet, just like a really, really long vine. No leaf. It's really, really thick, and it can get a little splashy. So I'm quite excited for that one. This is in the Hoya macrophylla splash, my big mother plant, which is growing really big leaves. Yeah, very root bound in that pond. Back there is a Philodendron micans going up a pole. Anthurium magnificum. It grew 2 leaves for me this past summer and then kind of went dormant, so I feel like it really likes the warmth. This is a philodendron Dean McDowell, so one of the first, no, maybe the first gift that Charmaine ever gave me. And I've cut it back a couple of times. I basically brought this plant back to life because she got it from someone who had really bad spider mites. So yeah, it's liking tent life. Philodendron gigas propagation. This was a top cutting off my plant that was getting really bleached. And then it had some sort of like fungal thing happen to it, so I'm not really sure what that is. Yeah, this was another gift. So this was a birthday gift, an Alocasia watsoniana, the real watsoniana with the kind of velvety texture and the venation that forks out at the margin. But as soon as I brought it back into my house, it dropped everything. But it is growing a leaf again, so hopefully it'll be out soon. And here is a philodendron holtonianum. So I gifted Charmaine this plant, not this last birthday, but the birthday, so 2020, October. And I kept the bottom cutting for myself. And it's finally growing lobes, which is really nice. It's getting a little bleached though. A El Choco, that was a gift from Aaron. Really, really like him. Doesn't love me back though. This is not Anthurium. This is a Hoya Natalie. Another gift from Jing. These leaves are so cute. Look at that round. It almost looks a bit like, it reminds me of coffee plants. And it's got another leaf. I can swing it around here. Right there. A little bit more light stressed. Behind him is a Hoya Lambii F, and that's also pushing out, I don't know, a vine, maybe a leaf. This is a Anthurium Rockweenum dying stump. This is a Anthurium, this is Alocasia Frydek from Aaron's variegated mother. I'm not sure if this here is variegation, but the newest leaf might be variegated. I'm not 100% sure yet, so fingers crossed. Back there are my little Anthurium seedlings. Boop boop. It's not gonna focus. I already showed those. And this is a Hoya Wayedii variegated. This is another gift from Jing. She's given me so many gifts. This is a Hoya Nicholsoniae New Guinea Ghost. And it's looking super wrinkly because it's an unrooted cutting, but I hear they're super easy going, so I'm not too worried about that one. It's already getting a little less wrinkly over time. And this is my big philodendron Glora. You guys, this is so hard to talk so much. Philodendron Florida Ghost, which is not super ghosty. The newest leaf here. It's not even really minty, it's just kind of light green. But it's nice. It's got a really nice shape to it finally. Is that everything? I think it is. I'm back this time with Huxley. I know at the end of that last clip the ending was super abrupt, so I'm sorry. I don't really know how to cut myself off yet. And Huxley has agreed to film this outro with me on the proviso that I give him treats. So watch this. Huxley, wait. Good boy. Okay. He's such a good boy. Thank you guys so much for being here for another video. Once again, if you have any questions on any particular plant that I didn't elaborate on in the video, I would love for you to leave a comment and I will answer any questions to the best of my ability. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday and a great rest of your week, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.